there's two highways, one of the two longest highways in the U.S. And you have to think, if you're thinking there's only one major highway that's antique, if you're thinking of, I don't know how to say it, there's two major highways that came out back in the old days. There's Route 66 that starts in Chicago and ends in California. There's actually another highway that does the same thing. And for information, I've actually been on both highways, actually, okay? The second highway is the Lincoln Highway. Starts in Times Square, New York City, and ends on the West Coast as well. I actually officially been on both highways myself, personally. Personally been on both highways personally. I literally been on Route 66, across the street from, when I went to the Sears Tower, that was now called the Willis Tower now. Before I went when I went to the Sears Tower, I went to a restaurant that was across the street from it, and I was crossing Route 66. And that was actually, after seeing Cars, the movie Cars came out and stuff, I always wanted to go to Route 66. I went, maybe a year or two later after Cars came out, Route 66, I was going to Chicago to the Sears Tower to see Route 66. We took the train down there because it'd be easier to get there. If you ever decide to go to Chicago and you live like in Indiana or Michigan, but if you take the train to Chicago, if you want to go to Chicago, I recommend you don't drive. If you live real close to Chicago and there's a train line near where you live to take the train, take the train. It'd be a lot easier to go to Chicago by taking the train. You have to pay for parking. You don't have to worry about the pileups. Actually, Chicago traffic's a lot better than New York traffic. I can tell you right off the bat, a lot better than LA traffic that doesn't even move. But if I were you, I'd take the train. I took the train. It cost me about $12. About $12 or something one round trip. I took the train from Michigan City, Indiana, the South Shore train from Michigan City, Indiana, to Chicago. Before we got the train stuff, I had a guy. Before we took the train to Chicago, we thought we'd be late. Our train was actually delayed due to mechanical problems. So they're gonna be 5 minutes late. They said, be 10 minutes late, which we really didn't mind that. Besides, we thought we'd be late ready to miss the train. We didn't miss the train at all. We bought our tickets, waited outside in the cold because everyone else was in the hot booth, which, that's why. And before we hopped on the train to go to Chicago, the relative I was with gave me a mask, and he said before we get to Gary, because Gary will get sick. He said so. He gave me a mask. He said don't put it on until we get to the stop before Gary. Before we get to Gary, two stops before we get to Gary, we put the masks on. Then the conductor was like, "Look at us, Tony. Why do you guys have masks on?" And a relative told me, Gary. I said, okay, you guys have, yeah. Okay. The conductor was like, look at us, Tony. Why do you guys wear masks? And my relative told me, oh, Gary, we're stopping Gary. Right? Gary's like, he said, Gary's to stop away from here. We know that's what we're putting them on for. He said, okay. And we're wearing, normal masks you wear for like fiberglass stuff, or when you were doing like dusting and stuff. We're wearing one of those. I wore mine to stop before Gary and to stop after Gary. We wore them after we left out of the Gary area altogether. We took them off and we put them in our pockets because when we took the train again, we didn't know the factory would still be operating at night though, but they weren't. And I've been to Chicago a few times. Chicago's a nice place to go to for maybe a day or something, but driving's a nightmare. That's why, if you go to Chicago, you take a taxi or you walk to where you're going. Like where we're going and stuff, we took a taxi, and we went to a taxi company that I know the secret. I know this taxi company has a secret we went to. They actually scrapped some police cars that I know police cars to take care of. They took some police cars from our previous city I used to live in. So, Bernie at the police department I used to go, who was living here, told me what city they give the taxis to. So I went there. We went to that taxi. Used that taxi company, and I showed him something. They said, "Oh, so our price was." We still paid. He got us there a little faster than he actually said. When he got us to where we're going, we give him a little bigger tip though, because he got the price. He gave us a little bit cheaper price. This was years ago. Okay, this was years ago. I don't know how much prices are now. to use a taxi in Chicago because I haven't been to Chicago in a while. But this was maybe over 5 years ago, almost maybe. Well, it was back in COL. I think maybe back in 2008, 2009, maybe, or a little earlier than that. I don't remember. I don't remember pictures of Chicago. Pictures went though, but it was fun going to Chicago. And if you ever get a chance to go to Chicago to see the Sears Tower or the Willis Tower, be careful. I actually went there before they changed the Willis Tower. When you find out what the Sears Tower is actually based off of, you think it's pretty neat though. The Sears Tower is based off of actually cigarettes, which I thought was pretty neat. Though, and you gotta think here though, Chicago, the Sears Tower is one of the few buildings in the world that hold world records. I mean, it did own a world record for a while as the tallest building with the tallest antennas, 4-story tall antennas, which, according to records, WGN or WTTW out of Chicago uses it as a transmitter. It's got about 1987 is when they had problems. Now the Hancock Building and the Sears Tower were transmitter buildings, one for WGN and one for WTTW. The thing is though, this happened over 30 years ago, and if anyone is still living who did it, I mean, it happened over 40 years ago. I mean, sooner or later it'll be almost 50 years ago this happened, and it happened 42 years ago, and no one has been ever caught who did this. But the thing is though, if they ever do get caught, they're not gonna be going to jail enough, and they're too old to go to jail. I mean, who knows how old they were when they did this? It's in their 20s when they did this here. They'd maybe 50 or 60 years old now. They did in their 20s, they'd be like 50, 60 years old now. And if it's the 30s, then maybe they pushing 70. Yeah, but they'd be pushing about 70. But whoever did it real good. I mean, according to my records, there's only been maybe one other TV hack since the past 10 years. There's only been one more TV hack, and that was on a CW affiliate out in Montana, a station in Michigan that got hacked about a zombie apocalypse, but that's about it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna really say, but I don't know what we're okay. Like I said, we're starting with there's the Lincoln Highway, which starts in Times Square and ends in, well, I don't even know what we're saying, so let's cut this off. Cut.